Hello, in today's video I'm going to be talking about the book Everything the Darkness Eats by Eric LaRocca. And this book I got in a recent book box and I was quite pleased when I saw it because I've read another book by this author. I've read, where is it? Oh, it's up there, Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. And I actually quite enjoyed that book. It was a book that had a bunch of short stories inside that were quite creepy and I quite enjoyed it. So when I saw this arriving in a book box, I was quite pleased. Yeah, I thought that sounds interesting, and this author likes to write quite twisted stories, and yeah, the back sounded interesting. It was set around this town and it says darkness threatens in New England, a community where occult forces are conjoined and bigotry is left unrestrained. So it's centered around these disappearances within this town. Several people start to disappear. You learn the background of a few of these people and yeah, you're kind of left wondering what's happening, what's happening to these people, because like I said, these people are disappearing and there's this mysterious kind of figure going around who has creepy kind of vibes and you're not sure what their deal is. You're not sure, is this person luring these people away? Is he like a serial killer, or is it a cult, or is there something paranormal happening? You're not quite sure. So the story starts off quite interesting, but unfortunately the more this book goes on, the more it kind of lost me. I got a little bit bored, and as more of the story was revealed, when I kind of found out what was actually happening, I found it quite disappointing, which is a shame. It felt like it was trying to say something bigger than what it was. But yeah, I got quite bored. I ended up like halfway through, I started like speed reading because I still wanted to know what was going on, but I just lost interest in the characters and the plot really. There are religious elements in this which can either go two ways. Either it ends up being preachy or it ends up being like, you know, have a negative view on religion. Either way, I find books that take that approach boring. It's just something that doesn't interest me. So yeah, I found it quite a push to finish this. It says a mad beautiful tale of dark magic, trauma and love, and these things intertwined. So yeah, it ended up also getting quite graphic towards the end, and I don't mind graphic books. You know, when you're reading a horror book or even a thriller. I read a lot of crime thrillers. That was my main genre before I moved on to reading horror. So I'm quite used to reading quite graphic, brutal, like murder scenes basically. But this one kind of went too far without much of a purpose. Yeah, there's kind of a trigger warning for homophobia in this book as well. Which I kind of found unnecessary because it didn't really bring anything to the plot. It was just kind of there, I think, to be shocking, and same with the gore. It didn't really bring anything to the main plot. It was just there to be like, oh okay, so this is happening, and it was supposed to be like, oh, like shocking and gross to the reader, but when I was reading it, it just felt completely unnecessary and yeah, boring. It was boring. I really did struggle to push my way through this. I didn't really care about what was happening to the characters. Yeah, some of them I liked, but I didn't really feel connected to any of the characters. There wasn't much backstory to them. There was a little bit, but it felt like you got like little snippets of information about them and then it just got right into whatever happened to them, and you didn't really felt like there was enough of a connection to care about them. So I would probably give this a 2 out of 5, which is quite surprising because I think I gave the last book a 3 or 4 out of 5. I can't remember. I remember the first story in that book very vividly. and yeah, I quite liked it. But obviously I like their short stories, but when it comes to this author, I'm not a big fan of this one story in a whole. It just didn't keep me gripped. And yeah, I felt like maybe if it's a longer book I could have got more invested, or if it explained a little bit more I would have got more invested in the characters. But because it's quite a short book, and I feel like this book tried to pack quite a lot in there, it just felt like it was trying to shove a load of like substance at you but without much meaning, and ended up being a bit meh in the end. So yeah, unfortunately didn't really enjoy this one. I don't know, if I saw a book by this author again with a good enough premise, I might try them again, just because I did like the short stories. But this book just definitely wasn't for me. So like I said, if you don't like reading books with religious views or homophobia, then maybe give this one a skip. If you like reading books centering around those, then maybe you might like this. It's just my opinion that I found it a little bit dull. So yeah, that's all I have to say on this book. Let me know your thoughts down below. As always, thank you for watching, and until next time, bye guys.